All right. Good evening or afternoon. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. My name is Bro Jasper from the Philippine Assembly. So for today, I actually had a quick read and grab a bit of scriptures because, yeah, I really did not prepare much for today because I didn't know what to talk about. So what I decided to talk about is something that happened recently for what happened to me and my family just a few days ago, this past 4 days ago, which was healing for our for my family. So first we'll go look at some scriptures about healing. So let's go to Matthew 21 verse 12 to 14. Let's read. So here it says verse 12. And Jesus went to the temple of God and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. So this is when Jesus went to the temple and overthrew those that were selling goods in the temple of God, like pigeons, doves, and making the place as a place of business. And after that, those which are let's read in verse 14. Hold on. In verse 14, and the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. So Jesus, when he came to the temple, he he cast these people that are making the temple as a place of business, cast them out. Then after that, those who needed help came to him, and he healed. So next verse for that. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. So next verse for that, I have to be really close to the mic. Is Mark chapter 5, verse 25 to 34. Right. So this will be just a very quick talk, probably below 5 minutes or maybe below 10 minutes. But yeah. So here in Mark 5, verse 25 says, and a certain woman, which has an issue of blood for 12 years, had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. And so this woman, when Jesus visited the place, uh, uh, she was suffering a blood disease, and no matter which physicians she went through, no matter which medical practitioners she went through, they all gave treatment, but rather than it getting better, it became worse. And when she heard in verse 27, uh, uh, she heard that Jesus came, she thought to herself, hold on, in verse 27, 28, 29. Yeah, let's read. When she had heard of Jesus, came in pressed behind and touched his garment, for she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, I'm sorry for that, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And he looked around about to see her that had done this thing, but the woman fearing, trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy faith. So this lady here, this woman that came that came to the Lord, knowing and hearing that the Lord came, she went and touched his garment, his clothes, having this strong faith that uh, even just a tiny bit of touching his clothes, that I can be whole, I can be healed. And then with this very strong faith that this woman had, that she was healed of whatever ailed her, the blood disease that she had. So let's go with another example of healing. Mark 1, verse 29 to 37. So, and forthwith, when they were come to the synagogue, they entered to the house of Simon and Andrew and James and John. But Simon's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and anon they tell him of her. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto them. And that even when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed with devils. And all city was gathered together at the door, and he healed many that were diverse, sick of diverse diseases, and cast out many devils, and suffered not the devils to speak, because they knew him. And the morning rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place, and there prayed. And Simon and they that were with him followed after. And when they had found him, they said unto him, All men seek for thee. So what this verse is trying to show that the first the healing that was done to Simon's wife's mother, she was healed from whatever ailed her. And after that, Jesus showed a miracle to those that were, hold on, in the previous verses, to uh, those that were possessed with devils. They were approached to him, and the devils were cast out, because the devils did not uh, uh, the devils knew of him, so they couldn't fight back. And after that, those who were sick with many diseases, various diseases, were healed, and this is a very great miracle. And those who were there uh, to see that the what happened in verse 36. And Simon and they that were with him followed after him. And when they had found him, they said unto him, All men seek for thee. So this poses a great this is a very great testimony for those that have seen the miracles of Jesus, and those who are healed, and those that's, that has seen the power, and and how people know that men seek for this. What do men seek? Uh, Healing is one of them. So I have given all these verses, Matthew 21, verse 12 to 14, Mark 5, verse 25 to 34, Mark 1, verse 29 to 37. Now, why did I present these verses? It's because recently, in the past 4 days, as you all know, my family was sick with a fever, and It all started. Let me just share the testimony real quick. It all started with my father being having a fever, high fever. Then uh, then we prayed over him. We laid hands on him, prayed over him with the spirit, and after one day, he was healed completely. After that was my mother, and we prayed over our mother. We laid hands on her, and she healed. Uh, she healed after a day. Then after that, I uh, I then was sick of the very same thing that my father and my mother had experienced, high fever and excuse me, and some coughing, and I was prayed over. I was laid hands on. I was prayed in the spirit, and I was healed the very next day. The morning that I checked my temperature, from 38.9 degrees Celsius, my temperature back when I had a fever, it went down to 37.00, which was a very great healing for me. It was a very answered prayer because I did not recover that fast, as long as I can remember, for any of my sickness before. When it came to fever, when it came to anything, I did not heal that fast for as long as I can remember. So let's to correlate that to my testimony, let's go to uh, Matthew 21, verse 20 to 22. So hold on, uh, verse 19 to 22, and when he's uh, so this after when Jesus cast out in the temple those that were selling, making the temple a place of business, and healed those that came to him, the blind and the lame, and the people that were in need. After the confrontation with the people that were the Pharisees, uh, he then he saw a fig tree in verse 19 in the way. He came to it and found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is a fig tree withered away? Jesus answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. So, as I've shared the testimony that has happened recently for me and my family, and uh, when my father was sick, we prayed and we asked for healings. Then the next day, my father was healed. I For my mother, it was the same, and for me, it was the same. So in this verse, it shows what we have experienced recently, and and it that shows that with our faith, that we can, as long as we ask in prayer, and we ask in prayer, and our faith is strong, then those things that we ask will be given unto us. And for those that for us here, we asked for healings. The very next day, we saw we saw the blessing that came upon us, my family. You know, we got healed about 1 day, 2 day, then we were feeling fine. We were feeling normal. But before that, we were feeling so weak, so tired. It's like we don't want to move. We feel like very fatigued, very tired, and and yeah. So our next verse is Mark 16. So with praying in the spirit, we also have a verse in Mark 16, verse 15 to 18. Uh, and he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth is baptized and shall be saved, but he that believeth shall not be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe in my name, and they shall cast out devils, they shall speak with new tongues, and they shall take up serpents, if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And they shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. So these brethren in Mark 16, verse 15, is is what we have as born again, water in the spirit, with evidence of, and those of us who are baptized and who receive the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking in tongues, we have the power to do all of these things, to cast out devils, to speak new tongues, take up serpents. If we may drink any deadly things, it will not hurt us. And when we lay hands on the sick, they will be healed. And with my recent testimony, it just really shows that these verses that we read is very true. It's a very great miracle for us. It's a very great miracle and a very great testimony for us in the spirit to see this in person. So that we have all of this power heal to heal those that are in need. And so overall, to summarize this very short talk that I have just compiled, because I didn't really prepare anything, but I based it all in my in the testimony about what happened recently. Is that uh, we need, as long as we ask, the Lord will give us what we need. And for me personally, it is uh, for me personally, and also it's not personally. I'm sorry. Uh, when we ask for healing, it will be given unto us. And with the great healing that has happened with my family recently, all I can say is praise the Lord. Amen. Okay. So I'm sorry.